Have you ever wondered what drives someone to risk everything for money and power? What makes ordinary people turn into some of the world's most feared drug lords? Crime can be tempting, especially when the rewards are enormous. But does it really pay off in the end? In today's video, we're diving deep into the lives of the top 10 wealthiest and most infamous drug lords ever. From unimaginable wealth to shocking violence, we'll explore their rise, their empires, and the price they paid for living outside the law. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind the world's most dangerous criminals, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, because you won't want to miss what's coming next here on the Narco Files. Number 10. Freeway. Ricky Ross. Ricky Ross was born in Texas in 1960 but grew up in Los Angeles. As a young man, he dreamed of earning a college tennis scholarship. But that dream ended when he discovered he couldn't read, which made him ineligible. Feeling lost, he turned away from school and met a small-time cocaine dealer who became his mentor. Ross soon started building his own drug network. At its peak, his operation employed over 1,000 people across the United States, from California to North Carolina. Between 1982 and 1989, he moved huge amounts of cocaine, earning billions of dollars. But his empire came crashing down when he was caught trying to buy 100 kilos of cocaine from an undercover officer. In prison, Ross didn't give up. He learned to read, studied law, and found a legal loophole that reduced his life sentence to 20 years. He was released in 2009 and has since stayed busy writing, giving talks, and investing in sports projects. Number 9. Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco was born in 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia. She started her life in crime young, stealing and running small scams in Medellin. In the 1970s, she moved to New York, where she quickly climbed the ranks of the drug world. Before long, she controlled a huge cocaine network stretching from Miami to New York and California. At the height of her power, she was making an estimated $80 million every month. Blanco's life was full of violence. In 1985, she was convicted on multiple drug charges and sent to prison in New York. While she served her sentence, Florida charged her with several murders, which added even more time behind bars. After her release in 2004, she returned to Colombia, trying to stay low. But in 2012, her life ended violently. She was killed in a drive-by shooting. For someone who had caused so much death, her end was a grim irony. Her story is a mix of warning and awe. A woman who ruled a dangerous, male-dominated world with both cunning and brutality. Number 8. Carlos Lehder. Carlos Lehder was born in 1949 in Colombia and spent his early life moving between Colombia and New York. As a young man, he got involved in crime, stealing cars, and smuggling marijuana. While in prison, he met George Young, a fellow criminal who showed him how to smuggle drugs using small planes. Together, they dreamed of building a cocaine empire. After getting out of prison, Lehder went solo and built his own operation. He took over Norman's Cay, a small island in the Bahamas, and turned it into the headquarters of his cocaine business. Lehder ran his empire with a mix of violence, clever planning, and a flair for drama. He was so confident in his power that he even offered to pay off Colombia's national debt if he could continue his drug trade without interference. Eventually, his luck ran out when Pablo Escobar betrayed him to U.S. authorities. Lehder was sentenced to life in prison, though it was later reduced. In 2020, he was released and sent to Germany, where he now battles prostate cancer. Number 7. Gilberto Rodriguez, Orejuela. Gilberto Rodriguez Orejuela was born in 1939 in Mariquita, Colombia. He started out with small scams and gradually worked his way into the world of crime. In 1975, he and his brother Miguel formed the Cali Cartel. At first, they focused on marijuana, but soon they moved into cocaine and built one of the most powerful drug empires in history. By the 1990s, the Cali Cartel controlled about 80% of the world's cocaine trade. Unlike the violent Pablo Escobar, Gilberto preferred strategy and careful planning over brutality. This earned him the nickname the chess player, because he always seemed to stay one step ahead of his rivals in law enforcement. But even the smartest plans couldn't protect him forever. Authorities eventually caught up, and Gilberto was extradited to the U.S., where he served prison time. He passed away in 2022 at the age of 83. His life shows that while careful planning can bring immense power, it can't guarantee safety or freedom forever. Number 6. Jose Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha. Jose Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha was born in 1947 in a poor family in Colombia. As a young man, he worked as a security guard for an emerald kingpin. But he soon saw bigger money in drugs and decided to switch paths. Gacha quickly became known for his ruthlessness and cleverness, building drug routes from Colombia all the way to the United States. He also created huge cocaine labs, including the infamous Tranquilandia, which employed thousands and produced massive amounts of cocaine. Gacha's empire came to a violent end in 1989. In a dramatic confrontation with Colombian police, he and his son were killed while trying to escape. Despite his death, his influence and fearsome reputation lived on. In his hometown, people remembered him as a man both feared and respected. Number 5. Khun Sa, Burma's Opium King. Khun Sa was one of the most powerful drug lords in Southeast Asia. Born in 1934 in Burma, now Myanmar, he came from a mixed Chinese and Shan background. Early in life, he formed a private army, which he used to control parts of the Golden Triangle, a region famous for opium production. By the 1970s and 1980s, Khun Sa had built a huge empire, becoming the world's leading supplier of opium and heroin. At the peak of his power, he controlled thousands of soldiers and much of the region's drug trade. Many saw him as both a criminal and a political figure, since he claimed to fight for Shan independence while expanding his business. In the 1990s, under pressure from both the United States and Myanmar's government, Khun Sa surrendered. Instead of facing prison, he lived comfortably in Yangon until his death in 2007. His life left behind a controversial legacy, remembered as both a ruthless drug kingpin and a symbol of power in the Golden Triangle. Number 4. The Ochoa brothers. Juan David, Jorge Luis, and Fabio Ochoa grew up in a cattle farming family in Medellin, Colombia. In the 1970s, they started trafficking marijuana, but soon moved into the booming cocaine business. Along with Pablo Escobar and other partners, they helped form the powerful Medellin Cartel. The brothers became incredibly rich, facing constant danger, assassination attempts, and threats of extradition to the United States. Eventually, they made deals with authorities, served time in prison, and some managed to retire quietly, away from the spotlight. Their story shows how family ties and business ambitions mixed in the dangerous and violent world of cocaine trafficking, proving that even the strongest empires face risks that can't be avoided. Number 3. Dawood Ibrahim. Dawood Ibrahim was born in 1955 in Maharashtra, India. He started out as a small-time thief, but soon joined the world of organized crime. By the late 1970s, he formed his own gang, called D Company, which grew into a powerful criminal organization involved in gold smuggling, extortion, and drug trafficking. By the 1990s, Dawood's activities escalated. He was linked to terrorist attacks, most notably the 1993 Mumbai bombings. Despite being one of the world's most wanted men, he has managed to stay hidden, reportedly in Pakistan, while still running his criminal empire. Dawood's story is a striking example of how organized crime can intersect with terrorism, showing the dark reach of power and influence in the underworld. Number 2. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Amado Carrillo Fuentes was born in 1956 in Mexico. He worked his way up through the Juarez cartel and eventually took control of one of the most profitable drug routes in the world. Known as El Señor de los Cielos, or Lord of the Skies, Carrillo used a large fleet of jets to move cocaine across the globe, building a massive empire. Despite his careful planning and immense wealth, his life ended in mystery. In 1997, while trying to change his appearance through plastic surgery to escape authorities, Carrillo died. His story shows how ambition and power in the drug world can lead to extraordinary success, but also to sudden and tragic endings. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar was born in 1949 in a small town in Colombia. He grew up in a modest family, but even as a young man, he dreamed of wealth and power. He started with petty theft and small scams, but his ambition pushed him further into crime. Eventually, Escobar built the Medellin Cartel, which became one of the most powerful criminal organizations in history. His cartel didn't just sell drugs, it controlled politicians, the police, and large parts of Colombia, giving him influence that few could imagine. At the height of his power, Escobar was worth an estimated 70 billion. He lived a life of luxury, with private jets, mansions, and even his own zoo. But his power also made him countless enemies, both in Colombia and abroad. In 1991, he agreed to live in a luxurious prison he had built himself, but he eventually escaped, and the authorities hunted him relentlessly. In December 1993, at the age of 44, Escobar was finally tracked down and killed in a dramatic rooftop shootout. His life was a mix of extreme wealth, fear, and violence. Escobar's story is a cautionary tale of ambition, power, and greed. A man who reached the top but paid the ultimate price for choosing a life of crime. Conclusion. So what can we really learn from the lives of these drug lords? Can money and power ever be worth the fear, betrayal, and violence that come with a life of crime? Their stories show that no matter how big the empire, it almost always comes at a huge cost and often ends in tragedy. If you found this video eye-opening, ask yourself, is chasing wealth worth risking everything? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Narco Files for more shocking true stories from the world of crime. The next story could be even more unbelievable, so stay tuned.